The Galactic Empire demanded tribute. Earth's answer sent them running. The stars dimmed as the massive ship entered Earth's atmosphere. It was larger than any human structure, casting shadows over entire cities as it moved. On a quiet Tuesday morning, all screens on Earth suddenly displayed the same image, a being with metallic skin and eyes that glowed blue. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English. "I am Admiral Donghae of the Galactic Hegemony. Your planet now belongs to our empire." In the United Nations emergency meeting, world leaders sat in stunned silence. The American president turned to her advisors. "Can we fight back?" "Their ship has technology we can't even understand," replied Defense Secretary Han. "Our most powerful weapons would be like throwing stones at a tank." Admiral Donghae's message continued playing worldwide. "Earth will provide tribute within 30 days. We require 10% of your mineral resources and 2,000 human specimens for biological study. Failure to comply will result in cleansing protocols." Dr. Jiwoo Park watched the broadcast from her laboratory in Seoul. Unlike the panicking crowds outside, she studied the alien ship's energy readings with intense focus. Something about their shield technology seemed familiar, almost like theories she had published years ago that everyone had dismissed. "Look at these frequency patterns," she told her assistant Sun Woo. "Their shields operate on quantum resonance principles. They're advanced, but they follow predictable patterns." Meanwhile, in the underground bunker beneath Seoul, General Minho organized world military leaders via secure channels. "Conventional weapons are useless, we need another approach." Back at the UN, diplomat Yuna stepped forward with a bold proposal. "We request a meeting with Admiral Donghae. We want to understand the tribute requirements more clearly." The alien commander granted the request. 3 days later, Yuna led a small delegation to the massive ship hovering above New York City. Admiral Donghae towered over the humans, his metallic skin reflecting the harsh lights. "Your species is primitive but interesting," he said, gesturing to display screens showing human history. "The hegemony has studied your wars, your resilience. Most species surrender immediately. You at least attempt diplomacy." "We are peaceful," Yuna replied carefully, "but we have questions about the tribute." While Yuna kept the admiral distracted, hidden sensors in her delegation's equipment gathered crucial data about the ship's systems. Dr. Jiwoo received this information in real time, her eyes widening as her theories were confirmed. "I was right," she whispered to General Minho over their secure line. "Their shields have a fundamental weakness at specific resonance frequencies. It's like finding the exact note that breaks a glass." After the delegation returned to Earth, world leaders debated options. Many favored surrender. The aliens' technology seemed too advanced to fight. "We should comply and save lives," argued the European representative. "And become specimens in their labs?" countered General Minho. "Dr. Jiwoo has found something. We have a chance." Dr. Jiwoo presented her findings to the Emergency Council. Their shield technology uses quantum fields that create stable protective barriers, nearly impenetrable to conventional weapons. But, like any resonance system, specific frequencies could disrupt it completely. "Can we create such a device?" asked President Kim. "With global resources and cooperation, yes. We'll need every quantum physicist on Earth working together, but it's possible." The next day, as the world publicly prepared for surrender, a secret project began. Scientists from every country joined forces in underground facilities. The plan was dangerous. They would appear to comply while preparing their only chance at resistance. 25 days later, Dr. Jiwoo stood before the assembled world leaders. Dark circles hung under her eyes from weeks without proper sleep. "Project Achilles is ready," she announced. "One pulse from this device will temporarily disable their shields and communication systems, giving us exactly 7 minutes before their backup systems engage." General Minho nodded. 7 minutes to show them humans aren't easy tribute. As the deadline approached, Earth prepared its official response. The world watched as President Kim addressed the alien ship hovering above the UN building. "Admiral Donghae, we have prepared the requested tribute. We ask permission to present it personally, as is custom on our world when meeting new allies." The Admiral's blue eyes narrowed slightly at the word allies, but he agreed. The trap was set. The Galactic Empire demanded tribute. Earth's answer sent them running. Dr. Jiwoo didn't sleep. For 5 days straight, she worked in her underground laboratory while the world above prepared for surrender. Screens surrounded her, filled with equations and simulations. The quantum resonance device, project. Achilles sat on her workbench looking deceptively simple. "Will it actually work?" asked Sunwoo, bringing her another cup of strong coffee. Jiwoo picked up the small metal cylinder, barely larger than her hand. "In theory, yes. The alien's shield technology creates a perfect barrier using quantum fields. But perfect systems have perfect weaknesses, like striking the exact note that shatters crystal." General Minho entered the lab, accompanied by Commander Taejun and his Special Forces team. They wore new black uniforms designed to blend with the alien ship's interior. "Your team understands the mission?" Jiwoo asked. Taejun nodded. "While the diplomatic team delivers the fake tribute and plants your device, we infiltrate through the waste processing system. When shields drop, we access their central computer core." 7 minutes, Jiwoo stressed. "That's all you'll have before their backup systems engage." 7 minutes is enough, Taejun replied with quiet confidence. Elsewhere, diplomat Yuna prepared the official delegation. 20 people would accompany her aboard the alien vessel, each one carefully chosen. Some were scientists who could gather data. Others were military personnel disguised as assistants. All were volunteers who understood they might not return. "The device will be hidden in the tribute container," Yuna explained, showing them a beautifully carved wooden box. "Once aboard, I'll activate it using this bracelet." President Kim addressed them before departure. "You carry Earth's hopes with you. Whether we succeed or fail, history will remember your courage." On the morning of the 30th day, Admiral Donghei's massive ship positioned itself above New York. Smaller vessels descended, landing near the United Nations building where Earth's tribute waited. Yuna led her delegation up the ramp into the alien craft. The wooden box containing Earth's rarest minerals, and the hidden device, was carried by 4 assistants. Commander Taejun and his team were nowhere to be seen, already moving through maintenance tunnels that the aliens considered too toxic for any living being. "The humans approach," reported an alien officer to Admiral Donghei. "Scan them for weapons," ordered Donghei. "None detected. They carry only the tribute materials." Donghei nodded. "Bring them to the central chamber." The delegation was escorted through corridors of strange metal that seemed to flow like liquid. Alien crew members watched them pass, some with curiosity, others with dismissal. To these galactic conquerors, humans were barely more interesting than animals. In her laboratory, Jiwoo watched through hidden cameras in the delegation's clothing. She monitored the device's status, fingers hovering above the emergency override. Taejun's team crawled through narrow maintenance passages filled with toxic gas. Their special suits protected them, but the filters would only last for 2 hours. "Humans would never survive this environment," whispered one alien engineer to another as they walked past the hidden tunnel entrance. "Their lungs would dissolve in seconds." The delegation reached the central chamber where Admiral Donghei waited on an elevated platform. The room was massive, with a ceiling that displayed real-time images of space. "We bring Earth's tribute," Yuna announced, bowing deeply. Donghei gestured, and the wooden box was brought forward. "Your compliance is noted. The hegemony accepts Earth into its protection." As alien scientists moved to examine the minerals, Yuna pressed the hidden button on her bracelet. In her laboratory, Jiwoo saw the signal. Activating Project Achilles now. The quantum resonance device emitted no sound, no light, nothing that human senses could detect. But throughout the massive ship, alien systems began failing. Emergency lights flashed. Gravity fluctuated. "What is happening?" demanded Donghei as his command screens went dark. "Shields are down, communications offline," shouted his officers in panic. In that moment of chaos, Taejun's team emerged from hidden passages, rushing toward the ship's data core. Yuna's delegation pulled out hidden devices, beginning to download alien technology data. Admiral Donghae turned to Yuna, his blue eyes now glowing red with anger. What have you done? Yuna met his gaze steadily. We've given you our answer to your demands. The countdown had begun. 7 minutes to change humanity's fate forever. The Galactic Empire demanded tribute. Earth's answer sent them running. Chaos erupted throughout the alien vessel. Emergency lights flashed red and blue as gravity systems fluctuated, causing both humans and aliens to stumble. Admiral Donghae grabbed a nearby console to steady himself, his metallic face twisted with fury. What have you done? He demanded again, advancing toward Yuna. We've given you our answer, she repeated calmly, though her heart raced. Humans do not surrender easily. Around them, alien crew members rushed to restore systems. The quantum resonance from Dr. Jiwoo's device had created the perfect disruption, like playing the exact note that shattered a crystal glass. Shields were down, communications were offline. The mighty hegemony ship was temporarily vulnerable. In the narrow maintenance tunnels, Commander Taejun led his team through the toxic passages that aliens considered lethal to any biological life form. Their suits were already showing warning, signs of deterioration. The filters would fail soon. 2 minutes gone, Taejun noted, checking his timer. 5 minutes remaining. They reached a junction where the tunnel opened into a vast chamber filled with glowing blue crystals. One team member pulled out a scanning device. This is their central data core, she whispered. Exactly where Dr. Jiwoo predicted it would be. While Taejun's team worked to access the alien database, Yuna kept Admiral Donghae distracted. The diplomatic delegation had spread throughout the central chamber, each member activating hidden devices that collected technology data. Your deception changes nothing, Donghae said, regaining his composure as backup systems began to come online. You've merely delayed the inevitable. The hegemony controls 1,000 worlds. Earth is nothing. Perhaps, Yuna replied. But we wanted you to understand something about humans before you claim our world. In her laboratory below Seoul, Dr. Jiwoo monitored everything through the hidden cameras. Her fingers flew across controls, helping guide both teams remotely. Taejun, you need to access the central crystal node, she instructed through their secure communication line. The blue one at the center, 4 minutes remaining. Back in the command chamber, Donghae's officers were regaining control. One approached urgently. Admiral, we detect unauthorized access to the knowledge core and human intruders in Section 12, an area filled with toxic processing gases. Donghae's glowing eyes widened in genuine surprise. Impossible. No species could survive those conditions. Humans are more adaptable than you calculated, Yuna said with quiet pride. You assessed our technology, but not our determination. At the data core, Taejun's team worked frantically. One member had already collapsed from filter failure, but the others continued. They connected their devices to the central crystal, downloading centuries of alien knowledge. 3 minutes left, warned Jiwoo through their earpieces. Start extraction now. Donghae ordered security teams to both locations, but the ship's transportation systems were still malfunctioning. Alien troops were forced to move on foot through the massive vessel. You can't possibly hope to defeat us, Donghae told Yuna as alarm signals continued blaring. Even if you escape today, the hegemony will return with 1,000 ships. Yuna smiled. We don't need to defeat your entire empire today. We just needed to learn about you. In the data core, Taejun's team discovered something unexpected. They found records of every world the hegemony had conquered, and a pattern emerged. Dr. Jiwoo, are you seeing this? Taejun asked urgently. The hegemony has never actually fought a war. All their conquests surrendered immediately after the first show of force. 2 minutes remaining, Jiwoo replied. Download everything you can about their technology and military capabilities. As alien security forces closed in on both human teams, Yuna received the signal they had been waiting for. She pressed another button on her bracelet. What now? Demanded Donghae. Now we leave, she answered simply. Throughout the ship, small devices planted by the human delegation activated simultaneously. They weren't weapons. They were distractions. Smoke-filled corridors. Non-harmful but disorienting sounds blasted through alien communication systems. 1 minute, counted Jiwoo from Earth. Extraction pods ready for deployment. Taejun's team had finished their download. Despite their failing protective suits, they raced back through the maintenance tunnels. 2 more collapsed, but were carried by their teammates. Humans value each other's lives, Taejun had told them before the mission. We all return, or none of us do. As the countdown reached 0, small pods burst from concealed locations throughout the ship. Earth technology that had been smuggled aboard. The diplomatic team and Taejun's forces rushed to these emergency extraction vehicles. Admiral Dong-hae watched in disbelief as the humans escaped his mighty vessel, taking with them the most valuable prize of all, knowledge. The Galactic Empire demanded tribute. Earth's answer sent them running. The extraction pods streaked through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. On screens worldwide, people watched these small vehicles return, carrying the brave men and women who had infiltrated the alien ship. Medical teams rushed to help those from Taejun's team whose protective suits had failed. Despite severe injuries, they smiled, knowing what they had accomplished. At the United Nations Emergency Center, President Kim watched the massive alien ship above New York. Its weapon systems were coming back online. The brief advantage provided by Dr. Jiwoo's device was ending. Will they attack? She asked General Minho. They should, he replied. By all military logic, they should destroy us immediately for our deception. Yet the ship remained motionless. In the recovery center, Dr. Jiwoo rushed to Taejun's side. His face was burned from toxic exposure, but he held up a small data drive triumphantly. We got everything, he whispered through damaged lips. And you won't believe what we found. Scientists from around the world gathered to analyze the stolen alien data. What they discovered changed everything. The hegemony had conquered 1,000 worlds, but almost none had resisted. Their entire empire was built on fear and intimidation, not actual warfare. They're bullies, Jiwoo explained to world leaders. They evolved on a planet with no natural predators. Their technology is advanced, but they have no concept of fighting against resistance. On the alien ship, Admiral Dong-hae faced an unexpected crisis. No species had ever dared to trick the hegemony. No planet had ever managed to breach their defenses. Find out what they took, he ordered his officers. Every bit of data they accessed. His second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Hee-sung, approached, nervously. Sir, they downloaded our entire tactical database. Military capabilities, shield frequencies, communication protocols, everything. Impossible, Dong-hae whispered. But the evidence was clear. The Admiral called an emergency meeting with the Hegemony High Council, transmitting across light years. This primitive species has done what no other civilization has attempted, he reported. They penetrated our defenses and stole critical information. The ancient faces of the Council showed rare concern. How? Their technology is primitive. They used our assumptions against us, Dong-hae admitted. They entered toxic areas we believed no biological entity could survive. They identified shield, weaknesses we thought were theoretical, and they showed no fear of death. On Earth, military forces worldwide mobilized with new purpose. The stolen data revealed that while the hegemony possessed advanced technology, their actual fighting capability was limited. They had never needed to develop combat tactics because no one had ever fought back. 3 days after the infiltration, diplomat Yuna requested another meeting with Admiral Dong-hae. This time, she came alone to a neutral location, a platform floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Your actions are an act of war, Dong-hae stated when she arrived. No, Yuna replied calmly. They were an act of self-preservation. We now understand each other better. She activated a small device that projected images from Earth's history, wars, disasters, and struggles that had shaped humanity. Unlike the worlds you've conquered, Earth has never known true peace. Our entire evolution is based on overcoming threats. We compete, we fight, We adapt. When faced with impossible situations, humans don't surrender. We find another way. Donghae watched, the images with growing understanding. Your files show that most species in the galaxy evolved in stable environments, Yuna continued. They developed technology before conflict. Humans developed conflict first, then technology. That's why we entered your toxic tunnels despite the danger. That's why we risked everything to fight back. The Admiral's glowing eyes dimmed as he processed this information. What do you want? He finally asked. The same thing all humans want, Yuna replied. Freedom to determine our own future. We don't want tribute from you, and we won't give tribute to you. Donghae rose to his full height. And if the hegemony decides to make an example of Earth? Yuna smiled slightly. Then we will teach the galaxy something it has never seen before. How humans fight when everything they love is threatened. The Galactic Empire demanded tribute. Earth's answer sent them running. For 3 days, Admiral Donghae's ship hung, motionless above Earth. No threats came, no weapons fired. The silence was more frightening than any attack would have been. On the 4th day, 5 more massive ships appeared. The Hegemony Council had arrived. In the Emergency Command Center, beneath Seoul, President Kim watched the alien vessels with growing concern. Have they come to destroy us? Maybe, General Minho replied. But our planetary defense systems are now operational. After studying the stolen alien data, Earth's scientists had quickly adapted hegemony technology. Dr. Jiwoo had created shield generators based on the alien designs but improved with human innovation. Their technology is advanced, she explained to military leaders, but it hasn't evolved in centuries. They had no reason to improve because no one ever challenged them. Above Earth's major cities, shimmering domes of energy now stood ready. Humanity's first planetary shield system. It wouldn't stop a full attack, but it showed the hegemony something important. Humans learn fast. Admiral Donghae requested a final meeting. This time, he asked to come to Earth, a request never before made by a hegemony officer. His shuttle landed on the grounds of the United Nations, where President Kim and other world leaders waited. The Admiral stepped out alone, without weapons or guards. I have spoken with the High Council, he announced. Your species presents a unique situation. The council members themselves appeared as holograms, ancient beings who had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. Their faces showed something the hegemony rarely expressed: uncertainty. In our history, we have encountered 10,000 different intelligent species, the oldest council member said. None have responded as yours has. Dr. Jiwoo stepped forward. What did those other species do when you demanded tribute? They complied, replied another council member. It is the rational response when facing superior technology. Rational, perhaps, General Minho said, but not human. The council members studied the gathered humans with new interest. One spoke directly to Taijun, whose face still bore scars from the toxic exposure. You entered environments you knew would cause you harm. Why? Because it needed to be done, Taijun answered simply. The aliens seemed confused by this response. They conferred among themselves in their strange, clicking language. Finally, the lead council member addressed President Kim. We have reviewed the data from Admiral Donghae's ship. Your species has achieved in days what others have not attempted in millennia. You identified vulnerabilities we believed impossible to discover. You risked certain death rather than accept dominance. That's what humans do, she replied. We survive. The Admiral stepped forward. The Council has reached a decision. For the first time in hegemony history, we are establishing a quarantine zone. No hegemony ship will enter your solar system again. Murmurs of surprise spread through the human delegation. Diplomat Yuna asked, You're leaving us alone? Why? A hologram displayed the hegemony's classification system. Earth had been given a new designation, Threat Level Omega, the first planet ever to receive this classification. Not because your technology threatens us, explained the council leader, but because your nature does. You value freedom above survival. You risk everything rather than submit. Such a species cannot be controlled, only avoided, the Admiral added, or destroyed completely. But the Council has determined that attempting to conquer Earth would require resources beyond what the hegemony is willing to commit. As the aliens prepared to depart, Dr. Jiwoo approached Donghae with a final question. There must be other species like us in the galaxy. What happened to them? The Admiral's glowing eyes dimmed slightly. We have encountered only 3 others, with similar traits. They are now our equals, or in one case our superiors. The galaxy is vast, Dr. Jiwoo. Perhaps humans will meet them someday. Within hours, the massive ships disappeared from Earth's skies. Humans worldwide celebrated their unexpected victory. 1 month later, in a secret facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Earth's new United Space Command prepared for the future. Using the stolen alien technology, they built Earth's first faster-than-light vessel. On its side, engineers painted a simple message, one that would someday be seen across the stars. We come in peace, but we stand in freedom.